he meet Lucifer? How did he meet Jesus?
I'm sorry.
All of that.
I'm sorry.
Because your media people killed me.
Oh, how did that happen?
But Jesus woke me up. So that's what he calling me Lazarus. I mean,
what were you saying?
It's as if
I didn't call this man whether you get his health certificate. I'm not interested in that. This guy is Lazarus. We get to that.
We should be worried. We should be maxed up here because I don't know what.
When Jesus took Lazarus from the grave, Lazarus was not smiling then. So don't worry now.
Okay.
So let's get to the issue. Monrovian School Day won on a Monday. With this no go soon with the motorcyclists. How far are we with that?
So let me begin by first and foremost commending the motorcyclists for the peaceful protest that they continue to carry out. We at the LU remain committed to protecting human rights and dignity and enforcing the laws of the land. More so, I would like to also commend STAND. I think it's an acronym for a new organization that is directed by
Moba
Molu. They've taken the plight of the motorcyclists to the Supreme Court. They pray for a writ.
A writ of prohibition?
Yeah.
Or injunction on your action?
A writ of prohibition. And we were at the Supreme Court yesterday. We had a conference with the justice in chamber, giving reasons.
So the case is ongoing.
Yes, it is. It is. Giving reasons as to why the action is necessary. And let me just say this.
Which lawyer? Sorry, do you have a lawyer? Who's your lawyer representing? Is it Council of Freemen?
Well, the government of Liberia represented by the Ministry of Justice.
You have a lawyer.
No. The Ministry of Justice. I mean, all of
the
Solicitor General. So the action is not just against the Liberia National Police, against the government of Liberia.
Okay.
Represented by the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia National Police. So you have the Solicitor General and their team of lawyers representing us yesterday. Let's look at the affected communities on peace and security issues and alternative sustainable livelihood. And when I didn't think of coming back to government again, that was my desired contribution to continue to work with young people to advance the cause of livelihood, creating jobs and stuff for young people, because that's the way of maintaining and sustaining the peace. So the issue of the motorcyclists here, we're not discussing an action that takes away their livelihood. We're not saying you cannot ride a motorcycle. At the court yesterday, you had a great number of cyclists outside of the court, in the yard of the LMP, and even in the chamber with us. How did they get there? We're not obstructing the movement of any citizen, the free movement of any citizen. It's how you get to where you're going. And the Constitution and growing out the Constitution, the Police Act, the Vehicle and Traffic Law empowers the police to make decisions on the safety of its citizens. So we are the ones that the state empowered, trained and empowered to make informed decisions as to what the citizens need to do to keep them safe.
Right.
And it also requires the citizen to listen to us when we talk and say what? Adhere to the police instruction.
Right.
For the safety of our people, we've made a great call. And if you look at it, we looked at what's the number one killer? Is it crime? No. Accident. Who are the number one victims in these accidents? Motorcyclists and keke riders. Where are most of the major accidents occurring? Right within this particular belt that we're now restricting for the safety of our people. And look, sometimes we think that everybody know what is right and what they should do, but that's unfortunate because that's not the case. In this case, we're saying we're going to help you to make sure we have you riding under safe conditions in safe places so as to safeguard your life that you may not care about or you may not understand the danger you're posing to yourself and those who will commit to ride along with you. And that, look, we're not saying do not ride. We only cut off a small tiny portion of the entire country and say, let's keep this pace. Look, we're hoping to get to a point where we build a culture of safety which does not exist here at all, because 90% of the people you see in vehicles are vehicle movers and not drivers. You learn how to start a car.
What's the difference?
You learn how to start a car. You know how to change the gear. You know how to move it from point A to point B, but you don't have one clue of the rules of the road. So as a result, there's no culture of safety.
Okay.
The people who are crossing the road don't know where to cross the road. The people who are riding on the road don't know how to even use the road. And that's why we're coming up with all these educational programs to help to safeguard the lives of our people and to start to build this culture of safety. And the reason why we want this culture to be established is because we, the police, don't have to run behind you, because now you understand the importance of safety. You understand the importance of safeguarding your own life and those who follow you on these bikes. We want to reach to that point where we can now relax and say, now that everybody understands, I think we can freely go everywhere because we will keep each other safe. But until we reach to that point where that culture is established and we're able to reduce accidents, the occurrence of accidents in certain areas, there will have to be restrictions just to safeguard the life.
But Aji, there's something though. I mean, a few months ago, before you came up with this action that many people are terming to be draconian, you asked these people to register their bikes.
Let me just stop you.
So you did all of those things. You showed all of that.
Okay, but listen,
that was business transaction. Now you made them to do all of that.
Exactly.
Why then are you stopping them from reaching a certain point?
They did not register their bike or pay insurance or road helmet to ride in Sinker, to use the roads within the Republic of Liberia. The law is very clear. In order for it to be considered a motor vehicle to use the road, it must meet those requirements. I mean, we're just restricting just
regardless of where you
if you will use the road to go to Southtown to your uncle home, Southtown.
No, I'm from Lofa.
I'm from Grandson, not from Southtown.
You're from Grandson, okay. I'm from Galway. So to use the road to go to Galway, you still need to register here. You need to register that particular vehicle you're operating. So it's not because you pay for registration. Yes. So it was our hope that, getting them compliant, getting them riding under safer conditions would have, helped the situation. But registration with all the culture of safety still doesn't negate the fact that people are still dying.
Could you have done it differently without just abruptly halting their shutting down their movement to certain locales?
Well, it wasn't an abrupt action. There was a timeline given. They requested extension. It was extended. And this particular action was in line.
Because they gotta be
so T-Max, the first thing, after 3 months, we should have extended this particular area of onto the freeway to cover the entire freeway. They asked for an extension. That we need more time to become compliant and stuff like that. So please give it to us. We give it to them. When the extension expired, we extended it again. Wow. So we did not even go beyond where we should have been covering by now with this particular enforcement exercise. Look,
what was the initial plan?
T-Max, we considered a lot of factors here before taking this decision. It took us almost a year going back and forth. We considered the livelihood component. We considered the public transport component. We considered the inconveniences that, these restrictions could cause. Here is it. We all have our parts to play to make the government functional. I cannot sit down and not play the part that you all pay me with your taxes to play just because the other parts to complement it are not there. And the one thing, over 80% of people who have formed perception about law enforcement officers do not come to the police station and interact with us. They form it based on what they see in the street. They form it based on how we conduct ourselves, how we conduct the flow of traffic, how we do things out there. And we're being graded wrongly simply because we're waiting for everything to complement each other before we can start our work. And then T-Max sit down in the station and he tried to compare me with a friend that my friend was doing better when he had only 8 cars in Monrovia. Now that they got almost 300,000-400,000.
Why did we go there? We're not going there. So let's get to this. There was one protest that we all feared that would be chaotic, based on the political pairing, the political lining with those that were protesting. What was the magic? Because intelligence informed us that there was some political infiltration. One political party infiltrated, intended to make this thing chaotic, but it didn't turn out to be that. What was the method applied that made it so smooth that we didn't have any situation of any unfortunate situation?
So, thank you, T-Max. If you look at the number of motorcyclists that are affected by this enforcement exercise, it's a minute portion in terms of the overall community of motorcycle and tricycle operators. You have them spread all around the country. Only this group that's running right in between here that we're now asking to run everywhere else around this space. Like I said, I commend the cyclists because they've followed the law. The Constitution allows for people to protest. Growing out of the Constitution, there are provisions that require you that if you're going to use the public space and cause inconveniences for other people who are not a part of your protest, get to the Ministry of Justice, seek a permit so that law enforcement can be informed and try to reduce the inconveniences of those who are not a part of it and be able to give you some support and protection while you carry out. They follow due diligence. They apply to the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice sent it to us. So we're able to work with them and coordinate it. They came to me. I told them, I said, listen, you're welcome. I mean, you just have to, you ask to march. You're going to march. March does not mean you come with motorcycle to protest. They agreed to that, and we've been very, very cooperative.
So I don't understand. If you people could have all those conversations and think the dialogue, why was the protest necessary?
We've been having dialogue for months. Okay, so T-Max said it right. The action is not just solely about the bikes. There are political actors who are taking advantage of anything that they can find to just bring some form of destabilization. So it's not just about the bike. So you got to understand that. Because even in that meeting, they were broken up into different groups who did not even want to protest. One group was clear. Our intent is not to protest. Our intent is to get back on the road. But we want to seek that through dialogue. The other group is saying, yes, I mean, if we can't get it through the dialogue, we're going to go to the court. The other group was just bent on the fact that they were there to protest.
They even came up with potato grains. Usually when tear gases are used, that's what the people use to reduce the burning sensation in the eyes and thing. But they never used the potato grains. Why didn't you use
it? Listen, when you remain peaceful, we will guide you. There will be no violation of it. As long as you listen to the instruction from the law enforcement officer or the officers assigned out there through all your protests, you would never have any confrontation. The thing is, most times when you see protests going violent, the original intent was to get exactly to that point, to just come and agitate the officers just so that it can reach to a point where there's just chaos.
What do you make of the president of the Motorcyclist Association that they were infiltrated by the CDC? How true is that? What is the truth in that infiltration? Did your intelligence confirm that the political,
specifically CDC?
We can definitely confirm that yes, there has been infiltration. There's continuous infiltration with it. We've seen people who. I think the NSA will be able to inform analysis about this, but for us, we've been able to identify people who were in the protest who write supportive messages about the Congress as well, whether they are partisans sent by the party, but they were part of that. They were definitely part of that protest. We picked up some very key political actors within that the planning and the march itself. Well, there was no need to make an arrest. I mean, they were exercising their constitutional right. I mean,
but they're not motorcyclists.
Well, even if they're not motorcyclists, the motorcyclists call for a protest in solidarity. They joined.
Okay.
I mean, as long
so
as
you protect all of them.
As long as you remain peaceful, why do we have to escalate? Look, we only escalate the use of force on the basis of the response of those who come against the police. If you come, you're nice, you're singing Kumaya, we're going to be there and say, praise the Lord as well.
Let me make a suggestion, Tima. Well, there may be whether you can see the sense in it. What if you do it this way, that you conduct trainings for these people? And make them to understand basic traffic rules and how to operate in the city. All of us are victims of the fact that these people are not plying the streets. Does that make sense?
Me too. I'm a victim as well.
How are you a victim? I know one time I saw you getting down from your car around Town and you got on the back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do.
Why did he do that?
He did that. I was standing right there.
I ride bike all the time.
You got on the bike.
I ride bike all the time. So we're all victims one way or the other, but this is a greater good action. It's a greater good action.
Can we approach it differently without having to restrict them permanently?
Well, I mean, that is something that could be considered in different ways. I wish the circumstances here were different. I wish this was a society with a culture of safety and everything. Until you can build that, look, let me tell you, if you decide to take your life, it's my responsibility as a law enforcement officer. Maybe you don't understand the value of your life, but this country loves you, the country needs you, and we're going to make sure that we do everything to protect you so as to not take it. Those who are taking this extreme risk of operating in these areas under unsafe conditions, I mean, we're there to protect them. This is a protection of our people.
So all this coming.
But this is it. The unfortunate part about this entire enforcement exercise is not just the fact that the motorcyclists are angry. It's the fact that we find ourselves in a society that law enforcement is a cultural shock to the people. Like, if you decide to do what government Liberia pay you for, enforce the law, you become an evil person. For some reason, I mean, since the war, there's just been a complete breakdown that nobody wants to follow any law. People believe this place should be lawless. People should be left alone to do anything they want. And we are here to rebuild this country. We've committed our lives. We've committed our time and everything to ensure that it is done better.
Are you saying, RG, sir, that the discharge of the duty is sort of affecting your relationship with the communities, with the citizens in general?
Well, I mean, on the basis of the fact that people do not understand, and listen, nobody's wrong.
Make them too.
Nobody is wrong. Nobody is wrong because you only make decisions based on how much information you have. And then unfortunately, we have other mechanisms that are just bent on sending this information out to the public. So it makes it seem as though the law enforcers are the bad guys. But yet and still, as soon as something happens, they who try to make the people to stand up against law enforcement, they come running to us. And whenever it goes down, who shows up? We do. It's the police.
So okay, so we will hope that there's some understanding between the police and the motorcyclists, and when the time reaches for us to make some relaxation in that. I'm not taking that break, our producer, just giving a chance for us. Let me have some more time with
So Tima, they understand. Okay, so you know, let's leave. Look, that's why I'm so happy that Mr. Molly took this case to the court, because the court will now decide if the court tell us it tomorrow, Mr. IG, you have no authority to enforce that which you're doing. You're infringing the rights of these people. I will come right back here on this stage. I will sit down. I will bow my head. I will tell you, I say, Tima, help me to beg the people for me. I am very sorry. I hold it for, and I will remove all of the checkpoints, stop the restriction with immediate effect. But let the court decide. This is not something that we are just doing just because we want to do it. The law empowers us. The Constitution empowers us.
And to me, it makes Monrovia a little safer than what it was before.
Yeah.
So let's move on now.
Yeah, motorcycles. Just one thing, though. It's up to DC. So I leave it in the court.
It's in the court now. I never knew it was in the court.
Yeah, but there was a threat issue, though.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, during the very period of the protest, we got information about threats issued. Some communication written by some unknown individuals through somewhere in the streets that if you people cannot let them to have access to the streets, they're going to start to attack peaceful citizens, and that is going to be on the government. Did you come across anything like that? Did you hear anything like that? How are you addressing it?
Well, there's been a lot out there.
Okay.
There's been a lot. But I mean, listen, I don't even believe that threat is even coming from the motorcyclists, because these are people who are following the rule of law, going to the court.
So what is it coming from?
You never can tell, sir.
So what is it coming from?
So listen.
Are they coming from politicians?
It's one thing to make the threat, it's another thing to have the ability to manifest the threat. So thought are free. So that's one thing you will sit down, will allow people to just get lawless nippers and start to attack people and go free.
Right.
Put it to test.
So that free capital building is burned today.
So let's get on.
You're gonna know whether it's free or not.
So let's get to capital building. It bothers me. And I was talking with some friends from the CNN, and they keep making mention about this capital building, how disgraceful it was. How Todman spent his time and his energy to give us this iconic building. How we become so lawless and so reckless and so unpatriotic that we burn it. It is what it is, and you started the investigation. Give us update. Who were you able to put behind bars? Who were you able to say you did this stuff to the Capitol building? You should be held responsible. What have you found out up to now?
So
it's long going. It seems to be an endless road.
No. January 6th investigation still continue up to the January 6th investigation. It continued up to 2025. Capitol building issue. The investigation is ongoing. As a matter of fact, there have been people who have been charged and filed into court. We are concluding the last portion of the investigation. And look, there's absolutely no one from conspirators to the lighters of the torch that are going to be left unpunished for this particular action. Everybody believes that any kind of action from law enforcement has to be sanctioned by political powers. No. This is one investigation that we've taken on the initiative ourselves, 100%, without any illegitimate political interferences to get to the bottom of it, because this is an attack on our democracy, and those who are responsible will definitely answer.
Who do you have?
We have suspects that are behind it.
How many are they?
Well, not answer to the law. No one. Absolutely no one in this country is above the law. No one.
So if that were to involve a representative, will you risk taking him to court?
You know, Timas, your journalists being all out there. We've been speaking to representatives about this particular issue. We wrote the House, meaning people of interest who are lawmakers. And they've been answering to the investigation. The investigation will be concluded. Those who are involved will be charged. We already have some of those who have been charged and filed to the court already. We have some of them who are on the run. We've already charged those who are on the run. And at this point, we're trying to get a red notices issued for all of those who are on the run.
Well, did you arrive at this point of your investigation as a result of the support you got from the international investigators you brought in the country?
The international investigators complemented what we had already started. It was established as an arson even before the investigators got here.
Absolutely.
The investigators came with more detailed experience to help to support our.
Why did you bring them? Why couldn't you rely on your expertise? Why did you have to bring somebody else?
Tima, you're talking about you yourself. You just mentioned you said some poor big fish. You're talking about an attack on the democracy, an attack on the foundation,
on the seat of our democracy,
on the foundation of this nation. We have to do everything from a meticulous point to ensure that we dot our I and cross our T's, to make sure that when we stand up in the court, that we will get the justice that is deserved for the madness that happened at our Capitol. It's a disgrace to the people. It's a serious disgrace to the people. And we must ensure, we who have been entrusted with law enforcement in this country, we must ensure that it's investigated and that the people get an answer and that justice is served for the action of few greedy individuals that caused us this embarrassment as a nation.
When do you think we'll come to the close of this? Because Liberian people are anxious to get exactly who did this to Liberia and who brought this sort of shame on us.
Well, T-Max,
by July, will we close it by July?
The investigation is ongoing. I'm not going to put a cap on it to say we're going to conclude it in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Sometimes you get a piece of evidence that will drag you way to another side that will take you time to analyze, and that's what's been happening. We've been analyzing different pieces of evidence. The investigation that was done by the international investigators. That will be posted on our site. It will be shared officially once the Minister of Justice clears it for public consumption, so that people can understand. Look, this thing,
isn't it already in the public?
It is out there, but not officially.
Okay.
But not officially. We will officially release it to you.
Is there a possibility that the content could be doctored when they just?
But they declassify.
Well, when we send it out, we're going to send you the original copy of that report. So I mean, it will clearly carry the autograph of all of those who conducted the investigation.
Tima, permit me to look at the political side of it a little bit, right? Some of the things we read on social media from prominent Liberians are that you did this single-handedly by inviting people to come and conduct an investigation. Probably they were working at your will and pleasure. Did you contact the U.S. Embassy, before engaging into having, Americans coming here to investigate this?
It's just unfortunate that, I mean, the society we find ourselves in is so corrupt that people don't believe that anybody can do anything for a good cause. It's unfortunate. And even these people who are trying to discredit the work of the investigators, they all understand that because of personal aggrandizement, they're coming out and speaking on some of these things.
How so?
Friends of friends, paid agents. So I mean, it's very obvious. Look, since we started this investigation, the attack on my person has multiplied more than 100 times. But this is what we're built for. So
what form of attack are you experiencing?
From the social media disinformation, the print media, you just name it. Or I mean,
personally,
even words meant to be threats, which of course I don't even take it as a threat. I
take it text messages
directly out in the air. Sometimes I drive here, I hear them screaming, or all I do, I just
in your car. Tima will say in a suburban when you're passing.
The point is that's what you sign up for.
No, I don't mind at all. Honestly, I don't mind. I mean, as long as you don't get physical, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you even desire to get physical, you should. Be ready now.
Yeah, man.
Myself, yeah.
So I will take it way back. We come to take a break. Well, I'm looking at quality and the quality of the police as we have them now, and quality of the police when my friend was there. I don't disown my friend. My friend was Joe Tate. He did the work that he had to do, given the time he was there. And so there was some discussion, some engagement between Joe Tate's police and the community. That was how he was able to crack down some of the stuff that happened. I want to know when we come back from that break whether there's some plans in the making of this Lazarus police as to police community engagement right after the break.
Uptown Garage, where they fix your soul.
Got car troubles? Don't stress. Drive into Uptown Garage. From quick oil changes to complete engine overhauls, we've got you covered. Our skilled mechanics use the latest technology to diagnose and fix your car right the first time. Need tires? Brakes?
One is both along.
Thank you very much. Back on 50/50 on Sky One, the 7-hour special studio guest, the IG of the Liberian National Police, Gregory. I will get to the hospital of Lazarus. Don't doubt me, this is Lazarus. I will tell you what it is. Let's look at your police is not all that clean. They're not clean, they have their own problems. What are you doing in matching them, making them professional, more professional than what they are, and having community police engagement so that before the stuff happens from the community, you would have known it because you have this relationship between the LMP and the communities.
Okay, so Tima, when the restructure and reform happened with the LMP, community-oriented policing was a foundation upon which that restructure was established. One mistake I think we made was to departmentalize it instead of philosophizing the entire thing, because it should have been the overarching philosophy of our every intervention, but instead we have it as a department just holding meetings and stuff. So that is why we're looking for support for retraining. I mean, there will have to be a reform process again with the police. I mean, to come back into training and support for the officers' well-being and their mental their own mental state. We're hoping that we in this budget year we will do a lot of in-service training to start to bring the officers back to speed. I think we already started. As I speak, there are officers back at the academy right now undergoing training. We have international actors from the U.S. here supporting the training. We have a prosecutor and we have an active duty officer who's working along with some of our officers now in training. So we're hoping that we're going to keep this going throughout the year. It is our hope that in the next 5 years, through our strategic plan, that we move community policing from just being a department to make it a philosophy on which our intervention is based. That is all of the officers. And one of the things that we did in 2016, 2017, it was an application that we didn't theorize, but we made sure that even our PSU, ERU officers who were on standby would during the day would go and walk the beat and get engaged with the community, speak to people, exchange numbers so that they could make a response even easier. Because sometimes they call us in communities where there's no address and you have to go and find a place. So because the officers were walking the beat and establishing relationship with community members, it helped us more. Because when they got in the community, when they deploy, they will call 1 or 2 members, oh, we're in the community, anything, you call us. So they were, instead of even calling way to Central, they had direct access to officers in that era. But we cannot begin that immediately until we have some access, at least to refresh the officers, and that's what we're working on. We're also trying to improve our accountability because in order to gain trust, you have to be very open and honest about what you're doing. We can't control the behavior of 5,000 plus officers, but what we can definitely control is what we do.
In other words, you are admitting to the fact that you got bad apples.
Of course. Tima, you got nobody else steal your.
Nobody steal my house.
That's a lie.
But you're talking about community relationship, right?
But
Right.
You always have bad apples.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, when they do these things, what do you do?
Right.
How do you correct it? And I think where we've fallen short a bit, and I must admit, is our ability to communicate the results
to the public,
the actions that we're taking on a daily basis with all of these officers. But we have reports from the Professional Standards Division. Every day they get suspended, they get dismissed. Every day. Look, there's absolute, if we just walk, if we leave from here right now and go to the office, on the desk right now, I got at least 5 or 6 reports waiting for action to be taken. And there's never a time that I would change it and say, okay, no, let's reduce it. Because sometimes I feel that the action is even, the punishment is even less. And then I'll go back and forth and write and ask them, go back, challenge it, and ask them to look into it deeper. And then sometimes they'll come in and convince me as to why they believe it's necessary, or sometimes why it should be reduced.
Right.
But There's never a time that they make a recommendation that I do not honor. So the officers are paying for these things, but the public too. They need to understand that these officers are human beings. They're making tremendous sacrifices just to keep them safe. This particular job is equivalent to what the Bible said. There's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for another. Police officers basically lay down their life to keep the citizens safe. But then in return, what do we get? Gross disrespect. I hear everybody here talking about, they're laughing about how people jumping police officers to fight. Do you think in any functional society where a citizen would jump an armed police officer to fight, he will be alive after that fight? Will he?
You're not calling for that anyway.
No.
Okay.
But they should even show you the level of restraint that the officers exhibit here. But nobody see it as that. They see it as only mockery.
How is Kine now? Is he recuperating from his treatment? Kine, the officer that got beaten?
Yes, he is recovering. Okay. I just got back. I saw him in the hospital, but I haven't had the opportunity to see him since then. But I'll have my team follow up to see how things are with him.
Let me step back a bit. Sorry. I heard you talking about community policing, and you mentioned a word that I want you to make it very simplistic. By philosophizing community policing, what do you mean?
So, okay, it will be the overarching strategy.
Okay.
Like if even the ERU or the PSU go to respond somewhere, they will take a community policing approach by engaging in dialogue. And not just
does it mean the existing community policing structures will be diminished?
No. We will continue our community engagement back and forth.
I'm understanding it differently.
No.
When you say community police,
so it's an all of department approach, and not just the community service department.
Okay.
So like every last officer, when they're rolling out their duties, will roll it off from a friendly perspective.
Okay.
It's about bringing service alive. Look, when the word serve and protect, the service component is a cliche. It's never really been brought alive in Liberia, in Liberia, and in most police services around the world. Because the thing is, when you go to the restaurant, you eat, the waiter comes, you feel served, you tip the waiter, you leave happy. You go to church, the pastor preach, you get out of service, you're happy. Your spirit is enlightened. You're thankful to the pastor. Can you say the same thing every time you encounter a law enforcement officer? The honest answer is no. And that is why we're trying to change the dynamics to ensure that when you encounter a law enforcement officer, you should be going happy and thank God that your nation is changing gradually.
Well, what can you, Timothy, please, just a moment. What can you tell the public, right, regarding the defiant motorcyclist? I get afraid seeing them in the street now that you have this restriction on. I don't ride with them because I'm thinking, if I got on this guy's back and he sees the police pickup, what would be the status of my life? He may just run anyhow just to ensure that he escapes because he's much more concerned about protecting his bike from the police than protecting my life. What have you to say to the public regarding the defiant, motorcyclist?
Well, you know what, Matthias, you painted a good picture, but let me put a more contrast to that picture you painted.
Right.
Do you know why they call the police corrupt? It's because the police are members of the very corrupt communities that we put together, put all of us in one uniform. You can see us, and that's why you're able to just label the police as being corrupt.
I'm not getting the picture.
Listen, it's an extension to the society. You're talking about the motorcyclist.
Right.
You're not even referencing the citizen who also heard this particular stuff and is getting on that motorcycle. Because if they did not get there, the motorcycle would not take them. That man will be parked way outside the exclusion zone and sitting down with the main reason why the cyclists are doing what they do.
So would you instruct your officers to arrest both of them?
Well,
we don't
arrest the motorcyclists when they're found in the.
In some countries, you have this what they call a control room. Dante hides from the police. He stays in his office. He sees what goes on. Not only with his men alone, but what goes on in the community. When will you gravitate towards that? I mean, it's going to be expensive because it's a high-tech work to do. That will involve body cam we're talking about. That will involve what goes on in the community that would involve having satellites and be able to monitor and tell what's going on. For instance, if people are protesting, you want to have something in the sky that gives you exactly the composition of the guy that are protesting, the intent of the guy that are protesting, so that when you moving in, you know, to understand what level of strength, what quality of strength to move in with. You're thinking about that?
So, Timas, if you go on our page, I think it was posted yesterday. We are moving into a smart city in terms of security surveillance. We signed a memorandum of understanding with Response One. Response One is High Vision's representative in Ghana, and they are coming to Liberia as well. And they've as part of the proof of concept, they have agreed at no cost to set up three major intersections with multiple cameras and modernize our control room with all of the screens.
Visible cameras?
Yeah. And then from there, we can start to build on our platform and expand it. So within the next 6 months, that should be up and running. The renovation of the control room starts within the next 2 weeks. So between 45 to 90 days, we should be up and running. And it's my hope that when this proof of concept is rolled out, then government can take the initiative and even expand it and put more cameras around the city, because we need it. Things at times have changed. Look,
How do you operate it from if you have those cameras in the street?
So our responsibility is to make sure.
Because Liberia to have in small Monrovia, the availability and affordability of electricity is very high, and those are electronically controlled.
Yeah.
And you have current. You need current to be able to do that monitoring.
So as part of the infrastructure setup, we're looking more at renewable energy, so that it can be relying on its own power and off the grid. So that I know I heard people talk about, how you going to do it with Liberia current? So how you will manage? Well, Liberia current with Liberia brains, we can still think around it. Liberia just got to be willing to invest in what is best for for the safety of the people.
So let's stop here and let's.
So Lazarus is here.
I'm not going. Let me ask the producer. Can I start with the story of Lazarus before we open the line, because that's. Or we want to go drop it.
A lot of people are on the line.
The producer said that we have a lot of guys on the line. So you can call us on those numbers on 077777107. Better stay call us on 07772212223, and our Lone Star number. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to the listening public. Good morning to Gregory in studio. My name is Jerry Kandi. I'm the youth person for Savage Community, and I join you from Congo Town.
Go ahead.
Let me appreciate the idea of the National Police for the effort that they are making to improve the system. You know, I remember years ago when I was there the last time, from here, the DA Junction, all the way in town, it was on camera. I remember what happened. You know, this guy always wants to see that God move forward. What let me tell you, when you're in a boy, you see, you know, citizens looking on police to pay. I think that can't happen in no developed country. You try to think, they are engineering or after all, you, in an hour or two, your family will just come for a body, you know. So I just want to thank the appreciation for being tolerant, and you know they should continue to do it, because that is why.
Thank you, sir. They call you also because you're thanking the man. You for people tell the man thank you.
You see that?
Good morning. Let's go to the line to talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Tima.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name, please?
And I'm Jimmy Jones, Patrick Jones, and I'm calling from Hardwell.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so let me say thank you first to your studio for the Senate deliberation of the artist. There are 2 concerns. The first one has to do with the Hardwell rule. There are I'm speaking exactly on my business. Okay, the Hardwell rule, you get a truck or a carriage, they run excessively on the road. That's it. Before the end of last year, you have 3 different accidents. Those trucks killed a motorcyclist, and I don't know how the RG and his people are coming to handle that issue.
Thank you.
One. Two. Hello.
Go ahead, make it smart, snapping now because we're running out of time.
My second concern has to do with the no-go zone. You found out that some they say normally I was telling we say lawmakers are the lawbreakers. Those various people that are there to enforce the law, you see them they have their competence and breaching those laws, and we sitting there looking at it, and if they say because the see that the authority they have power more than you, they will just give you all kind of loose stuff. I'm a bit of this. That's the reason. So I want to ask you to please address that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's go back to line 2. Talk to our next caller. Good morning. Good morning, my brother. What's your name, please?
I'm Daniel Dagon, and I'm calling this morning from Valencia in Spain.
Oh. Go ahead.
Daniel from Spain.
Let me commend the IG for the deliberation this morning, but I have a few points to make. My first point has to do with the motorcycle union, because we know by law in Liberia, law enforcement must be legislated. Yeah, and it's left with the police, the immigration, those whatever have been regulated by law, they carry on law enforcement. But we have motorcycles who just come union and they are like doing law enforcement as well on the street. Some of them have been the cause of most accidents that have been occurring and most violence among between the police and the motorcyclists. So I want to know what steps is the ID taking to recruit some of these guys in the police so they can do the work, and what should they do about to put stuff to the motorcycle union on the street?
Thank you very much. Let's take about 2 more calls, then before we ask the IG.
For these restrictions, accidents are happening for trucks, marching cars on the routy highways. Accidents happen, but we want him to a specialized program on the air to educate these motorcyclists, because these guys are very disgruntled. They are just rough in their dealings with people. So I think I want him to get into that direction, because many of us depend on them to give us a ride, like go in shopping like Mama Point and this and that. So this is our advantage for the skill they have. So let them resolve it. And the other side of the fire incidents at the Capitol building, we don't want people to damage property because you are losing a job. It's like brother you are damaging. So if the police too acted swiftly but they were late, they should have infiltrated the police system in that Capitol building for that protest day. So next time they should be proactive.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Last caller. Let's take the last 2. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, my brother. What's your name, please?
Oh, this is David calling you from Massachusetts. Thank you so much for the show.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I just have few questions. I have 4 questions here for the
Please make them. I beg you the best 2. Because
I will just take the best 2. Anyway, first of all, this is David. My first question here is the lawlessness is too much in the country. What is the RD doing to address the situation? And the next one is freedom of speech comes with responsibility. You have Abraham Gosling threatening a vice president on social media live, and everything is just normal, like in Liberia, nobody do anything, and that's the same thing that happened about the Capitol building, where you have a certain lawmaker threatening that will burn down the Capitol building and will burn down, and up and now nothing happens. So can you please address that?
Thank you so much. Let's take the last caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Solomon Christian. I call from Peace Island, I'm Motorcyclist.
Go ahead.
Yeah, welcome, Honorable IG. Our request with the Peace Island is the police have stopped us for running on summertime Peace Island there to go road to use the back road, the flag the road. So we're going to run in the community. So we want to bring address this issue, because we decided we're going to run inside Peace Island, South Forty. We don't go road, we are not people that can use the main road, but we use the back road. So sir, this is our concern.
Thank you very much. So now
before you take the IG, I just got information A colleague just sent me a text message telling me that the aggrieved motorcyclists are currently on voice of Liberia, threatening to attack police officers if the police does not, lift the ban.
Okay.
And families as well, because obviously when they come for you, they come for your family.
Well noted.
Okay.
Okay, so can you address the concerns, the callers?
So let me start with the caller about 540 to Uru. I know there is a back road that comes from 540 and goes all the way somewhere into Uru around the Christ the King School. And that road has been open for cyclists to leave from 540 and be able to access the Uru. So if for any reason that has changed, I will check with the operations people to see as to why that was changed. And if the reasons given are not worth it, I mean, then we're definitely going to open it again. But I think your concerns are legitimate, and we'll look into it with immediate effect. The speeding in the Carwell area with the truck, I mean, that all of the accidents in our area was investigated. The police have instituted measures. I think we even had a checkpoint at one point just to help to slow the truckers down, and a lot of them have been given tickets. So we will continue to monitor. I think we will send a patrol car in our Carwell area, because it's not just Carwell, it's the Carwell side and the Dixville Road. I think that's where we're having most of the problem, the road connecting from Barnesville to Carwell, the Dixville Road. So, but it is the same truckers that are speeding on that road, that's speeding right through the Carwell area as well. So we'll pay more attention to it, but I can guarantee you that all of the accidents that are happening in that particular area were investigated and sent to court. The issue of a specialized program on air, the police have got 2 slots, I think twice a week, and we do a lot of informative programs. I will ask the Press and Public Affairs, Cecilia is right here in studio with us, that they use one of those slots specifically for education of motorcyclists, so as to help them, with this building of culture. And we did arrange trainings at the academy for them. If they're willing and ready again, we can have it reopened to bring them back in to help to train them. I mean, on the issues of safety. The fire investigation, look, like I said, no one who's involved in this will go unpunished. This investigation is ongoing. It's a very, very technical investigation. It's a technical investigation. It's a special investigation, and we're taking our time to make sure that we get it right. There are people who we've charged already. There are people who we're talking to. So as soon as we can get some conclusion, the final indictment will be drawn, and all of those who are involved will definitely be named in the final indictment. The overwhelming lawlessness. I mean, the police can do so much and no more, because some of these things they say, well, it's just when we were checked, especially in the small communities we live in, we were checked by our parents' name. So you knew you went out there, you had, if you monitor what you did, you get our first whipping, you come home, and then get the second round of whipping. So we had something at least to deter us. But I mean, there's this breakdown in the family structure, and look, and that's the basic fabric of society. And until that can be repaired, the lawlessness, I mean, we're out for a rude awakening. But there's no society that can be built on individuals. The society is strong families. Higher foundation of the nation has crumbled. So it is our hope that we start to focus on the younger children and start to instill some level of discipline and civil education in them, teaching them patriotism, because patriotism, I think he died during the war. But we need to bring the patriotism Lazarus now, so he can actually wake up and come back to Liberia.
You just received threats, sir.
Yes.
I just shared with you sensitive information shared with me by a colleague that some of the very people you're dealing with, you're talking about Cecilia going on the radio to educate them. Some of them are on the radio threatening your men and their families, and you just said no to them. That's all.
Well, listen, I mean, should I start to scream because they spewed out a threat? we are human beings.
So you're mentally alert.
We are human beings, just like the motorcyclists themselves. We have the rights to defend ourselves and defend ourselves within the confines of the law, observing the use of force continuum. If anybody sit down and think they can just make any threat against police officers and the police officers are the dogs that they can just beat anytime, bring it on.
Somebody want to ask, said when you're talking about control system where you monitor the society, he wants to give, he was asking me whether you have drones. If you don't, he's prepared to supply about 4 of those.
That would be warmly welcoming.
Okay.
So please say thanks to.
Okay, I will tell him then maybe I'll link that with 222 so that you people can work that out. The last thing, because our time is running out, is that look, 2 weeks ago, this information that you were sick, it was not malaria, it was not malaria 1, it was not malaria 2.
This is still I've been waiting for.
That's and let me give you the background. When I call him Lazarus, there was this guy who was friendly with Jesus. They call him Lazarus, and about a week ago,
I did that in Sunday school.
In Sunday school, and so
you don't have to go there.
No, that was in Foya. Now I don't know what it is.
Okay, so the Foya pastors don't teach right now.
I'm not saying that.
The Torah Igisi.
Could be the Torah Igisi. And so this Lazarus was sick, and they sent for Jesus. Jesus couldn't come. He was too busy. By the time Jesus got through his schedule, he went to Lazarus. Going to be about 4 or 5 days. Lazarus died and was getting out some foul scent. And so Jesus got there finally. The sister said, well, why you coming to already? Your friend died and we sent for you, you're busy. The man said, Jesus, my friend had died. Lazarus got up and Lazarus got up. And Lazarus was walking and Lazarus was not staying. And Jesus said, this is my friend and Lazarus. And so I'm saying this because you will be the second Lazarus in modern time, died. And
killed by the media.
Not by the media. And so you said it before me, so I was wondering because when that news came out that Saturday that it was now 2 plus malaria, it was now 1 plus malaria, it was something that confine you in a wheelchair that you just might die, and I see you. So what was the state of your health?
Well, first and foremost, all thanks and praise to God, who continues to carry me day in and day out. But I would like to just move a little towards the fact that sometimes you feel by serving well here. And like I said, law enforcement is a cultural shock. So as a result, people wish evil for we who are there trying to make a difference. I mean, my health issue is my own personal, that's my personal business. But I mean, you choose, the hate is so much that you wish the chief law enforcer dead, and you take it as a means of disinformation and run with it and put it out there. But I would just say thanks and praise to God. I'm well.
Were you sick?
I didn't have any counter. Yes, I did. I did. I went to.
How severe was that?
Well, I didn't die. I wasn't ready in a wheelchair. I got on the plane. I dressed myself. I walked. I went to the hospital. I walked to every last appointment. I drove myself to my appointments and back. And here I am right here sitting down strong and healthy.
And you're blaming the media generically because of whatever happened to you?
Well,
we didn't discuss did you talk about it?
I'm not blaming the media.
But you said the media killed you.
Well, where do you hear it? Where do you hear it?
I can't tell you myself.
Ah, okay. There you go.
Tima by his story.
Tima didn't hear it from someone who called him the telephone to him. He heard it from listening to someone else. So I mean, it's just the level.
Somebody take your help.
It's just the level of hate. It's just the level of hate. Look, let me tell you.
So what was wrong with you?
I am a human being.
You can just say.
Thank you. And this society is so strange. 1 minute you put us at the underdog, we the police, we're nobody in society. The next day you're making us immortal as if we're not supposed to get sick. Or I saw some other picture on social media the other day with they took someone picture, when they shot the person with a fucking reach my waist and put it up there and said police are just sleeping. Well, what is wrong with sleeping? You gotta sleep. I'm a human being. Thank you. So I mean now we can't get sick, now we can't sleep. So automatically this robot is active here, it's alive. But I would just say all praises and thanks to God who continues to carry me. Thanks to my family, thanks to my friends and loved ones. I am alive, I am well, and I'm doing the Liberian people's job.
Do you like this job?
This job is
If I were to give you a choice.
No, honestly, it's not just, this profession has not just been a career for me. It has been my life. It's something that I've grown to become a part of. That everywhere, even if I leave police and go out, everything I do it as if I'm acting as a police officer. So it's not just a job. It's not just a job. It's life. We build families, we build friends, all through this profession.
You make enemies?
Definitely. I mean, once you're enforcing laws, come on now.
Before you leave, there's this big story that LBA accuses police officers in Mankini.
Yes, you mentioned that. I haven't seen a report on this yet, but I will definitely look into it. As soon as you did, I tried to make calls before the show started, but then we kicked off immediately. But I'm sure I will have some update on it in my phone if I start to check right now. But I haven't heard the details about it yet.
Okay, thank you. Our time is up. Thank you for accepting Lazarus. From today's day, I'll call you the real Lazarus because you just the same Lazarus died and came up again by Jesus. That's what I'm asking you.
And from today's date, I will always say to God alone be all the glory.